Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Ranke here on the LJ Ranke Travel Channel. I'm standing on Summit Avenue in St. Paul, Minnesota. Summit Avenue is a beautiful boulevard, tree-lined boulevard with beautiful mansions that leads from western St. Paul all the way down and curves up and goes to the cathedral. Beautiful mansions, including the governor's mansion. I am here today because I'm standing outside of a church. One of the churches here is a Baptist church, a former Episcopal church. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cities Church. This is the church that the protesters gathered at and marched through during the ICE protests here in the Twin Cities. I'd never been to this church before. I actually went to school near here at Concordia St. Paul, north of Summit Avenue to the east a little further. So I'm very familiar with the Twin Cities, but I had not known this church before. I came here today because I wanted to meet the pastors and thank them for persevering under some very unjust persecution that they received from protesters. I think it's important that when people endure those kinds of things, that we support them and encourage them. And so I wanted to support, and I left 4 packages of my Red Vines licorice. Although no pastors were in, but I did talk to a staff person and I gave him my licorice and I said, thank you for what you're doing. Because if you've heard any news reports where the pastors talk, they say, we're here to bring Jesus to people. It's about Jesus. And they've been very civil and very cordial in the way they've responded to the unjust protests that they've endured here at this church. And even now, there are people gathering outside this church every Sunday morning protesting them for reasons I don't even fully understand. The ICE issue is over for right now in the Twin Cities, so it's not like there's a reason for people to be protesting, but they still continue to protest. So I just wanted to stop by and say thank you to this church for its faithful witness, for enduring wrongful persecution, and for doing its job as a Christian congregation. By the way, if anybody seeing this is a wing school student where I used to teach, just be advised that on my way here this morning, I went by way of Central High School, which is the high school in the book that we all love together, Until They Bring the Streetcars Back. That book that's written about a boy going to high school here in the Twin Cities at Central High School, near my alma mater, Concordia St. Paul. That's an aside, but for those of you who are wing school students, you'll appreciate the fact that I'm in this neighborhood. Anyway, that's it from St. Paul, Minnesota, Cities Church. Thank you, goodbye, and God bless.